Alrighty folks, today Pappy's going to do something different. He's going to cook a little something, and well, frankly, I don't have a name for it. But here's our ingredients. We're going to have some taters and onions, some bacon, and I have a little bit of leftover bell pepper. We're just going to fry all that up and enjoy it. So let's do this thing. So the first thing we got to do is skin our taters. Ain't nothing like having a tater with its skin on to just make people mad. My mother-in-law went with us on a trip to Kentucky once, and we stopped at a restaurant. If I mention the name of the restaurant, you all recognize it. It's a chain. But anyway, we went into this little restaurant, and she ordered mashed potatoes. And you'd think, with mashed potatoes, you'd get, mashed potatoes. But when they came, they had skins mixed in. Now, you'd have thought that they'd violated her very presence, that they'd committed some heinous act, or was fixing to start World War III, or I don't know, something crazy. She got all kinds of mad. Tell you what, some folks can't make them happy by putting the skin in mashed potatoes. So, anyway, that's just a fun little thing that happened. Personally, I like the flavor, but I'm not mashing potatoes today. I'm going to be frying these. And I like a good fried potato almost as much as I like a French fry. Now, people like to talk about who has the best French fries. My wife's a big fan of the McDonald's French fries. Personally, I like the French fries best, those crinkly cut ones that you get from White Castle. I think they're probably my favorite. But the McDonald's French fries are good too. I make them at home sometimes. I prefer, if I'm going to make them at home, I get the store-bought skinny fries. We occasionally will cut them ourselves and make them here. I like the really thin ones though, because they're a little crispier and they cook through better. It's hard to get a fresh potato cooked all the way through, you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm going to hack them up in a second. I'm going to go ahead and get a knife of some sort here. I don't see my favorite knife. It must be in the laundry for knives down in the dishwasher somewhere. This will just have to do. Okay, so I'm going to have some onion with this. This apparently was a bad choice. Let's try a different one. Let's try... Oh, this looks like a good sharp knife. Let's find out. Well, a lot sharper than the one I had. Okay, you take the ends off. That makes it really easy to peel all this big brown exterior off. And I like to kind of get an outer layer free because it's gives you the good stuff underneath. It's probably my favorite line from Shrek, where Shrek is trying to explain to Donkey about ogres and explaining that ogres have layers, and Donkey says, "Oh, cake has layers," and of course Shrek compares himself to an onion because onions have layers. I've always thought that was pretty funny. Okay, so we just about got this puppy free of its skin. I wish I was better at this, but alas, I'm not. I think the final product is going to make it all worthwhile, though, for both of us. Okay, so I'm going to have a paper towel ready here so I have somewhere to put this. Let's go ahead and just get this up into circles. Get about halfway through, so I've got more surface to hold against the cutting board. You got to try to do this without cutting your fingers off. That comes in handy. All right. Now, I'm going to break them up a little when I stick them in the fryer, but first I'm going to cut them in half a little bit. Do something so they'll be easier to break up. So I like a good onion flavor. And you get some dead kind of hanging off there. It's okay to just get rid of it because you don't need it. We got plenty of onion here without it. Look at all them extra pieces. All right, you just go away. We don't need you. All right. So there's our onion, and we'll be ready to go in. I like to get it done and get it out of the way because once I start on the potatoes, it's going to be the first thing we put in after we get the meat done. So we'll get the potatoes in. Now, everybody cuts these things a little different. First thing I'll do is halve them. Then I'll quarter them. Maybe if I was smart, I'd even put them in thirds or fourths like that. I'm going to make squares. Because I just think they're easier to eat if they're in smaller pieces. I need something else to put them on. I guess I'll cut off another chunk of towel here. Okay, we'll go ahead and take this one. Do the same thing. La la la. I know this is an exciting part of the video. Have it. Thirds or quarters or whatever. Just so you get some chunks. Easier to cook that way. And I love my taters, so I probably could have got away with 2, but I'm a fat kid and I like taters. Now, you might say, well, now, Pappy, what are you gonna cook that in? See, that's what the bacon is for. We're gonna get to that in a minute. First thing we actually cook is the bacon. We get that done, set aside. And we'll get our veggies in. And when they're ready, then we just throw the bacon in on top. If there's any left, if I haven't eaten it all by then. And hey, I'm just speaking the truth here. Okay, I still have all my fingers. See that? Look at that. So we're good to go. Okay, so the taters, set them back out of the way. We've got the onions good. They're ready to go. My peppers, chopped some of them up the other day and used them. And now, we're going to get our bacon out. And could leave them whole, but I'm not that kind of guy. I'm going to cut that bacon up. So we get out a nice sharp pair of scissors. Right here, and we'll start by cutting it in half. You'd be amazed how well this works. Because once you get it in half, I'm gonna get a paper towel ready for this. Before I actually touch the meat, clean my hands again, like I did before I started this video, and pull the meat out. I'm just going to half it again. And it's going to cook up really, really nice that way. And we'll just repeat the process with the other side. Yeah, that container was offending me anyway. All right. It's going to be so easy to cook. All right. Now I've got my trash right here below the view of the camera. And the meat is ready. I'm just going to clean off the things here that can go to the wash. And I have prepared right over here off screen. But now I think you can see it if I set it right here. Yeah. And I don't really need the lid. It's a monster lid. Cover pretty near anything. Okay. Now, it'd help if I could see. Here we go. All right. Now, I'm going to keep these nearby, but I'm going to set them out of the way a little bit so that I've got room to plug this in. And the grease is going to be the very thing that we need to cook up the potatoes and onions and whatnot. And first thing I'm going to do is just spread these out a little bit. Oh man, my mouth's watering just thinking about it. Lots of little bacons. Here, piggy, piggy, piggy. All right. Okay, here we go. Look at that. That's the first quarter of the bacon. I'll start peeling off the next fourth. Now, if you can see this, I don't know how good a job the camera's doing of picking this up. But right there, the first quarter, almost half a pound, probably about a third of a pound is going to be in this first round. All right, put some heat on it. And just to make sure you can see what we got going here, I'm going to pick up the camera, give you a little better view. Okay, what we have there is about a third of a pack of bacon. And we're going to heat that up and just do this one round at a time. Alright, that was a fun little journey, wasn't it? We'll be back in a few minutes when the meat's cooked. Okay, now we're going to resume recording. At this point I've got all the first few here done. We got some more that are almost done. And I just keep taking them out and putting them in. I'm going to continue this cycle until all of our bacon is cooked. Something to be mindful of is the magic of an electric skillet is that there's a coil underneath. And wherever the coil is where it's going to be the hottest. So the funny thing is, right about here is where they're going to get the most done the fastest. And you just kind of have to be mindful of that. I don't like mine too overdone, but I like them to be cooked, of course. And these ones here on the outer edge, some are done, some are almost done. But that's what they look like. Yummy, yummy goodness. Hope y'all can see that. Okay, we're going to take those off because they're pretty well done. That's coming along. And at some point we got to flip them over. Those are just about ready to come out. Some of these others are getting close. As they cook up, of course, they shrink. As they shrink, you got more room for more bacon. And the more we cook, the more grease we get. And that's going to be good stuff right there. Look at all that room we've got now. Oh, we've got enough for another quarter of a pig. And that grease is really hot, so I don't actually want to get my fingers in it, but I do want to get down there, get that meat where it needs to go. Because we're going to be done before long. I'm going to stop recording, but I may just keep you with me, make you suffer the whole thing with me. How does that sound? Nothing like suffering a little bacon, is there? Okay. And while I did that, these fellows back in back, they managed to get themselves done. We'll take them off the fire, so to speak. And no, this guy here's done. Like I said, this ring right here is where the heat is. And these guys are getting close while I was putting in the new. Yeah, don't move the stuff around too fast. It just makes it pop and bubble. Okay, we're getting down to the skinning here. Just a few more pieces. And we're going to get it all in this time. It's going to be close. Look at that, I think I might do it. Oh yeah. Now we're fully committed, folks. 100% of that bacon is either done or in there getting done. And while I was putting all them in, getting nice and fresh, look at that. Oh, that is just marvelous. And you give it a chance to actually cook through. Gotta flip it, when you start getting real curly, that's how you know it's time to flip it. And look at that, by the time I get those boys flipped, these fellas back here are just about ready to go out. Pull them out, let them cool, because they're all going to go right back into this before too awful long. Oh, now look at that. These down here getting all curly already. Just set them in there and try to flatten them out. Now, even though I'm going to use a lot of the grease for cooking the potatoes and onions and whatnot, I am going to pour some of that grease off. I'm blessed to have a cooker that's got a little, turn the camera there so you can see, a little divot on the side there, a little pouring spout, as it were. We can pour off some of the grease, and I save that because it's perfect for making biscuits and gravy with. Kind of grease, it's just almost magical. Okay, we're getting close. Getting close. It's going to give it a little bit longer. It gets down where there's not as much left, the fire just doesn't seem to be as exciting as it was. Which is crazy because it's an electric skillet. It keeps the temperature the same, theoretically. We all know about theory. Theory and reality don't always go quite hand in hand. But where theory fails, reality always lets us know the truth. So here's one of them pieces I was telling you about. A little quality control check there. Yeah, I think that's all right. Okay. Now, this is real comfort food with potatoes, onions, and food like that. If I was doing this in the morning, I'd probably scramble a few eggs in. I'm going to do that because it's middle of the afternoon when I'm filming this. And I don't like a good egg, but I don't think we need it today necessarily. Let's see what our situation is with these. I think it's safe to probably pull these last ones out. Most of them anyway. Now, if you want to take just odds and ends from your kitchen, you could have done this with smoked sausage or ham or anything. I like the bacon because it produces a lot of grease. You could have used vegetable oil to fry your potatoes in. You don't need bacon grease, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, well, whatever. This is really good stuff here. Okay, look at that. Still got all kinds of bubbly business going on there. Now I am, for just a moment, going to turn the heat off. I'm going to give you a wide angle view here. And I don't know how much of this you'll be able to see, and I hope I don't spill too much. But I'm going to put a little bit out. And I'm going to keep some. So I poured about half of it off, and I'm going to save that for later. And we're just going to set it off to the side and let it cool a little bit. And we turn the heat back on. Not that it cooled down a whole lot in that amount of time anyway. But now we'll be able to put our potatoes in. And, oh, it's too heavy to lift. Get a few of them out of the paper, and then I can dump the whole business in there. Look at that. Oh. I end up having to use a different tool before it's over with, but this one's already out and it's already got grease on it. I'm already going to have to wash it. So we'll see how far we can get with this. And I'm just kind of breaking up the chunks a little bit because we want it to get cooked all over. We don't want it to cook super fast and just be all fried up and brown and be hard in the middle. We want our potatoes to cook through. And so I'm actually going to reduce the heat slightly let it cook a little bit lower temperature. Not much lower, just a little. I think it was around 325 before I set it down closer to 300. That's just the setting on the side though. I don't know if that has any real relationship to any real temperatures. Oh look, there's another one almost got away. I had to rescue it. Okay. Well, we're just going to let this go for a spell. And we're going to look at it and it'll tell us when it's ready. So, I'll be back in just a second. Thanks to the magic of television, the potatoes are getting close to being done. I did turn the heat up slightly. And you managed to avoid hearing me sing the Jade Clampett theme and some other musical oddities to kill time here. But what we've got, since the potatoes are getting close, I want to put in the other vegetables because they won't take nearly as long. That's the bell pepper that I cut up yesterday and had with breakfast. I'm just going to mix that in. Can you smell it? I smell it. It smells pretty good. I'm just going to, you can see that the potatoes are browning here. That's what you're going for, is color. Alright. Now, as far as the onion goes, we're just going to break these pieces up. And the onion won't take very long at all, really. I don't think. And we'll get the bacon added back in here in just a second. Okay, look at that. Okay, I'm going to continue just tearing up our onions a little bit. The thing is, it's not a particularly exact science. We just got to get them in there. Believe it or not, folks, there's more. But there's more! As great TV salespeople would say. Okay. Just about got it. A few more odd little pieces we'll just dump them in there and be done with it. You'll notice I did switch tools, if I didn't mention this already. And man, if only you could smell it. I was going to talk to you about adding spices or flavors or whatever. You could add salt, pepper. You could add any sort of pepper or Cajun spicing or anything you wanted to this, really. But you don't have to. And in fact, with the bacon here, we've just got just about the perfect storm of food. And all we're really trying to do with the bacon is get it warm again. The potatoes are done. The onions and peppers just need a few minutes. And we're going to make sure that the meat is heated up with them. And this is going to be magical. Just magical. If you haven't already done so, it's probably a good idea to get a plate ready. I'm going to set out a couple plates. I'm going to go set the table. And we're going to be back in just a second to scoop some of this out. Alright, if any of you have ever cooked with an onion before, fried one up, whatnot, you know it creates a very powerful aroma. Delicious, but nevertheless quite strong. I think it's done. Hope you can get a good view of that. Okay, I'm going to scoop some out and see what it tastes like. I'm just going to grab a plate. Pardon me for reaching in front of the camera like that. Holding my spatula up, blocking the view. Ha ha, I'm trying to be funny. Alright. Put some on a plate. Look at there, there's plate one. Can you see that? That just looks delicious. I'll reach around behind the camera, grab the other plate, and load some up so the wife and I can partake together. That's going to be good. And there's plenty more for seconds because I will be back. There we go. Doesn't that look good? Alright, I just want to assure everyone that it was delicious. The wife's a little camera shy, so we didn't do the normal tasting on the video. But it was wonderful, and I had seconds, and I still have leftovers for lunch tomorrow. See you next time on Pappy Time.